welcome to the Just Cause 4 Showcase at PAX West 2018. Thanks so much for everybody for showing up here at the Hydro today. I'm Andrea Renee. I'm going to be moderating the panel today. You might know me from What's Good Games or from Kinda Funny Games Daily. Next to me is Adam Kovic and Lauren Sontag from Funhouse.
Hi.
And at the end of the table, we got Omar Shakir and Tori Setian from Avalanche. So I'm guessing everybody watching on the stream and probably most people in this room know what these two guys do. But Omar and Tori, could you explain a little bit about what your roles at Avalanche are?
Sure. I'm the narrative director on Just Cause 4 at Avalanche Studios. All the story stuff is me.
That was very succinct.
Yeah, well.
I'm senior producer, basically making sure that the team knows what they're working on and we're upholding the vision of the game and hitting everything on time, on quality, and on budget.
It's important, yeah, budgets. So we're going to show you guys a bunch of footage today, but we wanted to kind of kick things off talking about some of the new things you're going to see in Just Cause 4. And Tori, one of the big things that you guys have really been talking about are these cool new biomes.
Yeah.
So maybe we can talk to the folks about what we can expect to see.
Sure, yeah. So this time around, we really wanted to go big on variation, and so there's 4 different distinct biomes in the world of Solis. It's a fictional South American island we've created for Just Cause 4. And so the 4 biomes, as you can see here in the video playing, we've got a desert biome, we have a rainforest, grasslands, and an alpine region. And we also have 2 to 3 sub-biomes. Those biomes are these transitionary areas between the different regions. Again, we going for that variety as you're wingsuiting through the world to make sure everything feels very fresh and different.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I got distracted by this amazing B-roll that we're watching.
So pretty.
Obviously, Just Cause is known for these massive open worlds and traversal, and vehicles are coming back in a really big way. Omar, what are some of the cool things that I'm going to get to drive?
I mean, we have all kinds of new vehicles this time. There's one up in the air, being airlifted by our new Grappling Hook. We have industrial vehicles, we have sports muscle vehicles, obviously we have jets, helicopters, lions, tigers, bears, oh my. But the most interesting thing about all the vehicles this time around is that they all have some sort of secondary functionality. So we have like heavy loaders, dump trucks, magnetized sky cranes where you can pick things up and bring them to one side of the world. It kind of goes on and on and on. But yeah, variation's a big theme of Just Cause 4. So what a device or a vehicle primarily does, it always comes with some sort of secondary function. So you can discover that as you play the game.
I'm guessing that secondary function is usually in service of blowing things up or throwing things around, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or taking care of lawn maintenance. That helps too,
Sure, mowing the lawn.
Yeah, the grasslands, rainforest, that needs to happen.
We're seeing a little bit of weather in this clip that's on screen right now. You guys have like a whole new systemic weather system in Just Cause 4.
Yeah, that's right. So with each of these biomes, we wanted to bring an extreme weather for Rico to play around in. Here we're showing off our lightning storm. Basically, because the game is so vertical, we wanted to give some really fun challenges to players on how they handle that verticality when they've got this extreme weather going on. And all of these weather types, we have we've shown the tornado previously, of course. Here's our lightning storm. We've got a couple of things as well in the other regions. But these are actually weather simulations based off of real weather systems.
Super real.
Very realistic, yeah.
Very real.
Super real.
That's how weathermen do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so again, all of these are systemic. So if you think, like lightning should function where it hits the highest point, that means it probably will. And that's how all of our weather systems, and we try really hard with all of our physics systems to keep true to that.
And you guys have this awesome Apex engine that you guys have created specifically for this. Can you tell us a little bit about how that engine works and why it makes this awesome destruction and chaos possible?
Yeah.
Sure. So the Apex engine is sort of like the culmination of 15 years of open world sandbox experience. Over the course of Just Cause games and other open world games we work on, like The Hunter and Mad Max, there are different systems in each one of those games. So we figured there's a lot of things we want to do with JC4. Extreme weather was one of them. The distinct biomes, the volumetric terrain, the volumetric clouds, wind simulations, river tech. all that stuff, you know, kind of existed in different versions of our different ideas and different games we've made in the past. But we figured, hey, why not sort of bring it all together in one engine so we can kind of pull off all the things we want to pull off with JC4. So we did. It was a challenge, but it allows us to do some of the craziest things up to this point.
It's a little wild thinking that this is getting crazier than where the Just Cause franchise has been previously, because you guys have gone to some pretty crazy places. I know you guys have toyed around in the world of Just Cause quite a bit over the years.
Well, it's a derp factory. That's what's wonderful about it. It hits that magic window between being crazy but not too crazy, so you can still kind of control what's going on and make your own chaos and watch it unfold in front of you. You mentioned experience in open world and stuff like that. Is that truly what allows you to ride that line so finely between just outright chaos and everything exploding all the time and just having a wiggly man like flying through the air? It just seems like there's a whole skill set behind developing those tools to give to the players so that they can make their own weird chaos happen.
It's true. One of the sort of core philosophies we have with building a sandbox is that it's like being a surfer. You're not looking for more water, you're looking for better waves. So when we build a sandbox game, we try to present the player with as many waves that they can ride as possible, and that's where the creative tool set comes from. And you decide how fast you want to go or what you want to pull off. But it is iteration after iteration. There's also, you know, kind of a tool set fatigue that we have to sort of reel back on because sometimes too much gets overwhelming. So it is a balance, and we try to strike that balance every time.
And I do want to let you guys know that we are going to be premiering a brand new Funhouse clip of them playing Just Cause 4 during the panel today. But it's going to be great. Before we get to that, though, I want to talk about this, you know, talking about tool sets. We have seen so much of this new mechanics with the grappling hook and the B-roll that we just saw. Can you guys like let folks know exactly the cool stuff you're going to be able to do with the grappling hook this time around?
Yeah. So of course, you know, the grappling hook makes its return, and you can do the typical retract, reel in, tethering, but we wanted to add more abilities. Grapple is tried and true, so let's add a couple of more tools for the sandbox experience so players can really continue to imagine and think up new ways to play. So the two new abilities we've introduced this time, the airlifter is what you saw was bringing vehicles into the air. Here we actually, perfect timing, thank you, video.
Vehicles and other objects.
Yes, and other objects. You can tether these to anything. If it's physicalized, it will move. Again, if you think it can happen, it probably can. We tried really, really hard to make sure these simulations were systemic enough that you could. So that was an example of our airlifter. We also introduced our booster, which is essentially like attaching a rocket using your tether. So because now you've got 3 abilities for the grapple hook, we wanted to continue to push the limits of imagination and went a little bit more in depth and added a modification system. So you can further refine the way that how high you want the airlifter to raise into the air, if you want it to follow you, if you want them to become indestructible, things like this. And someone actually sat down and did the math, and it totals to over 4 million combinations for the grappling hook.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It was a little daunting. Where's Kat? Kat came back. There she is. Hey, Kat's awesome. She came by our office and brought a copy of the game for us to play. And she was walking us through the menu, and all our jaws are kind of on the floor because it was like being back in math class. You're like, I can do what? It's like you have to think kind of like an engineer because the amount of options you can do that. You'll kind of see it in the video. I don't think we show the interface or anything, but like it is. Like, there's a lot you can do. If you've ever messed around in any sort of sandbox game, you're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Did you guys find that it was easy to pick up? Obviously, you guys have a lot of practice with the franchise and the mechanics from previous games, but with the new stuff, did you have to kind of tool around with it a lot, or was it pretty intuitive?
It's pretty intuitive. Obviously, it was the first time we had picked up Just Cause 4, but after Kat walked us and kind of coached us through it, by the end of an hour, we had already kind of figured it out in between our idiot panel of all of us, our little committee, all of us shouting at each other, trying to do different things. It's like balloon thruster, here, left, right, and then you have to aim it and get in the right area, and then you can just reset and do it all. I don't want to spoil it because some of the stuff we did in the clips is borderline insane, but it was amazing that we could do that within 40 minutes of playing the game, never having, obviously having past experience, but getting our hands on with the new mechanics right away. It was very intuitive.
Well, we're definitely going to take a look at it in just a few minutes, but before we get to that, one thing I wanted to make sure we talk about, which you might have seen in the background of some of these clips, is that massive tornado. So you guys also put out a gameplay trailer. How many people have seen the tornado trailer? Oh, a good amount. If you haven't yet, it's really cool. Tori and Omar, can you talk a little bit about what this tornado is and what it does?
Sure. So the tornado roams around the grasslands. It's one of our extreme weather events that belongs in that particular biome. It's fully systemic and procedural, meaning that the trajectory of every spiraling object, every physicalized object, is actually being calculated in real time. So if you were to jump into a tornado while it was roaming the grasslands and it had picked up a bunch of cargo containers and vehicles, you could actually smash into them or grapple or get into one of them and do all sorts of sort of fun things. It also exists in some of our kind of main missions as kind of a cool set piece that, again, is fully interactable. But the nature of the tornado is strange because everybody assumes that it's like, hey, you want it to go bigger and better, so why not throw a tornado into your game? And it was actually a little bit more than that. Whenever we develop sort of a sandbox game and we present the player with a new system, like, for example, wind, we always present them with a calm version of that system so that they can master it. So you master wind with your wingsuit and your parachute. But with a sandbox experience, you always have to present a polarized extreme so that the player can challenge themselves. And that's actually where the tornado came from. It was like, what's an extreme version of wind? Well, it's a tornado. So while the tornado is there and you can interact with it and it has this massive destructive capability, you can also kind of ride it like a wave and sort of spiral around it and do all sorts of fun things.
I mean, my head's just kind of like the gears are like going, thinking about all the possibilities. It's going to be there persistently, right? It's like so the very first moment you'll put up the game, it's just going to be there all the time.
Yeah.
Are there going to be some elements? I don't know. Maybe this is a spoilery question, where you're going to be like you're going to have to interact with the tornado. Like, or can you avoid it if you're like, no thanks, that's too intense for me?
I think the goal is to never avoid the big giant tornado.
I guess it is the antithesis of Just Cause, right?
The goal is to sort of go right at it and see what you can do with it. But there are definitely moments in our game where using the tornado to your advantage is important.
All right, noted. So why don't we go ahead and get into these awesome Funhouse clips before we roll the first one. What was it like, you guys, like tooling around and having some fun? Did anything surprise you? Obviously, you had a good time.
Yeah, I mean, we were sort of briefed ahead of time. I was more surprised that they let us play it because it's like I am a glorified game tester and I break stuff all the time. I was like, you want to give me an open world game and do weird stuff early? Okay. And of course, I broke stuff, but you won't. I mean. Jury's still out. Like it's so much, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way. It's stupid fun, and it was like, it's one of those weird criminal moments where you're like, I get paid to do this. This is cool. I get to play a game early. It's a franchise that I'm a fan of, and get to do it. You know, I mean, like I got plastic surgery to look like the main character, so
you do look oddly like Rico.
I was going to ask Omar to take his glasses off, and we're going to have like a face off. Who looks more like Rico?
I think we both need a tan.
I tried a tan.
Yeah. I stay away from the sun.
But no, it is definitely one of those like super humbling moments where you're like, I have such a cool freaking job, and I get to interact with people who make really cool things for us. These guys do the actual work. We just get to have fun with it, and we're in a position where we get to show you guys the kind of fun that we're having. So that's it.
That is very well said. And on that note, let's go ahead and play the first clip.
Okay. Well, now that I have the controls down to a T, we're going to the front line.
Yeah, he's actually a Just Cause pro gamer.
He's been playing for 15 minutes.
Thank you, Alana. It's good to have someone in my corner for once.
She's new. She has to suck up to you. Also, he's my boss, so.
Yeah. I am?
Oh, so those are your boys.
These are my boys. I got to go over there.
Or you just take one of their tanks.
Yeah, just take one of their tanks.
Into the battlefield.
All right.
And we'll pull the ship.
Yep, all right. He's getting it.
Is he? Yeah.
He is.
I don't know. Tell him you need to borrow it.
Oh, he'll still fire for you.
Oh, that's bad for this guy.
I feel like all his allies probably hate him a little bit. He just keeps putting balloons on shit.
Yeah, they do. Because he's got all these cool things and he doesn't know how to use them.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah.
Rico to the rescue.
Well, there they go. Teamwork this time.
Get him.
Oh, yeah, you're really getting more.
Oh, really hitting you.
Two more.
just exploded. They have lasers on them.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Can't hit what you can't see.
They can definitely see you.
Best of luck.
I really think you really helped out there.
Oh, Jesus, it's really powerful.
Run! Look at him all. Run! He's got a gun. Oh, they see you.
All right.
Oh yeah. So this one will auto lock on people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Dope.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Oof. Okay, so. I think I just need to take a tank.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
obviously,
definitely,
yeah.
yes.
That makes the most
That's
sense.
Nice. Those good moves.
Those are good moves there.
B.
He's not going to just let you have it.
Yes, he will.
Okay, will.
It's yours! Be good to her!
You better run.
I think you're getting shot.
Just take it across the bridge. Get out of here.
Then you can do
I'm
what
gonna
you
say,
want
I
with
think
it.
you're
Yeah,
getting
then it's
shot.
yours.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, there's a friendly fire.
All right, watch out, watch out, watch out,
Guys,
watch
look
out,
what I
watch out.
got! It's pretty cool, huh?
Oh, well, knocked him out.
It's a tank!
You need one on the front, on either side, front right,
Yeah.
front left,
Yeah.
and then one in the back to stabilize.
Oh, that's like the three-wheeled vehicle.
Like the perfect car, the three-wheel car from Mr. Bean.
Alright.
And one right there. Boom. Oh, they're already going.
It's automatic.
I basically made my own
Now
helicopter.
grapple up to it.
You did make your own helicopter.
Get in.
And look, perfect.
All right, now let's go invade that base.
What?
Boost.
This is so good.
Oh, look at the death tank.
This is all I've ever wanted from a video
I'll
game.
defeat them with confusion.
Oh my God, how confused they must be.
Can you kind of steer?
To what? Oh, yeah.
Wow,
There we
what a
go.
killing
Oh
machine.
my god.
I am the best.
This is truly incredible.
We need air support.
No, he's going down.
You don't need a helicopter.
I guess I
Yeah, look what you have. Why would you want a helicopter? That's a downgrade.
Get him, boys. No.
Those were your friends.
I didn't kill him.
Why isn't this a thing that the military makes?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't think there's much left. I think you've been really killing
Pretty
it.
much wiped
You
it
did.
out. Watch
You-
out, antenna.
It's fine.
Oh no.
no.
Flaming death tank.
It's fine. Don't get out.
Oh boy. Really? He's got a
real
flaming
problems here.
spinning death tank right here.
Because you're gonna have to get out. Send the tank to its death.
He did.
Eh.
Yeah, awesome. Now no one will ever get to
That's
have
so
your
cool.
amazing.
How do you even start to control that kind of chaos? Or do you just like roll with it?
It's a great game engine. Like, if you have an imagination and you can build it, then you can have fun with it. That's kind of what we got out of it. And that was maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes into like playing the game and figuring that out and just spawning like a what are those moments called when there's like a big
Supply drop.
yeah, the big fight going on. So you have
Oh,
like
the front line. The front line. Yeah.
front line, sorry, yeah. So there's like two sides going at each other, and then like you could hear James shouting orders, or he's like balloon here, there. And it's actually super fun to like play with your friends and just try to just screw around. It was super fun.
That's one of the coolest parts of this game in particular, is it is sort of just dumping like some blocks out in front of people and seeing what they make with it. And then there is a collaborative aspect where you get to see other people's creativity as expressed through this tool set and then offer your suggestions, and then everyone can work together to make a flying death tank. So, yeah.
Did the vehicles spawn in pretty quickly, did you find? So, because you obviously like lost a couple in there.
There's a earlier moment, I think maybe either got cut out for time, but there's a part where we're in that town, that little oasis, and we're trying to like hook the helicopters to get the jets, and I think we were just screwing around too much. But like, yeah, there's constantly just stuff going by, and then you'll come up on those moments where there's a big battle going on, and there's just like everything's there, and then all the customizing you can do with just the thrusters. There's another part, I don't know if it might be in the final video, but we just threw it onto like a car just to boost ourselves across the map. Man, it's silly. It was a good time.
Well, let's take a look at the second clip.
Oh, that's fast.
As a young boy, I learned that during a lightning storm, the best thing you can do is get to the highest point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And wear a lot of metal.
Yeah, make yourself look like a tree alone in a field.
Help
You're okay.
He's like, the irony is
Did
that
it break your parachute?
it killed me.
And like, are you okay? Oh,
It
dude,
hit
you
you
struck by
again.
lightning again.
Awesome.
Why does God hate me?
So if you want to avoid the lightning, you just gotta move real quick.
Still, it's gonna get you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I saw that.
Oh, hit it real bad. You can see it. You can see it's angry.
Every time.
So you're safe in here because there are tires.
Yeah, and as long as you get higher than the storm, then you'll be okay.
What could possibly
Oh,
Yeah, try and shoot it.
Take
What if you,
that.
yeah, what if you,
Nature.
what if you fought the lightning? There's anything that I know about being a pilot, it's that storms equal good.
Is that true?
Yeah.
You guys sound like scientists.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say.
You basically
Thank
are.
I
you.
trust you.
I'm just gonna.
That's
say.
gonna pop. Oh no!
Are there people out there?
I think that was a person.
Yeah, I thought I saw a body.
Yeah, I think his name is Foil Man. Why was he out there? Foil.
He's a conspiracy theorist.
He has one weakness, and that's everything.
Gotta get up those lemons.
Doing a great job. You're moving faster than lightning at him.
Oh, boy.
Well, you
Oh,
were.
no, not good.
It's
Yeah.
just
Wings
barely
went
out of
up.
If
reach.
you get one of them, you attach a balloon to it.
Sorry to fall
Balloon
back
to a
down.
balloon is the best way to fly. What? Oh, you're gonna pop! Oh, come on!
Yeah.
Madness.
So I have a question about that. How is that going to work in the final game? Because it did look like God hated me, or at least Zeus, or whatever you believe in. Some lightning god wanted me dead.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of speaks back to, we wanted to give players this challenge where we're giving them these tools where they can traverse through the air, but the extreme weather allows us to give you new ways to play, new intuitive ways to play, and actually in that base, I hope it's not too much of a spoiler if I share, like one of the objectives is you will be raising lightning rods. And so those lightning rods will absorb the lightning, but they only cover certain areas of the base, so you do need to traverse throughout, raise the lightning rods, and then something mysterious happens after that.
We were just thrown in, and they were like, all right, survive. Like, what? It's just like, yeah, you start to spark up a little bit, and then kaboom, and then you fall and die. But it was super fun.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys did great.
Our goal early on with something like that, the lightning storm, or any of our one of 4 extreme weather events, is that early on you see it as a hindrance, and you're sort of dodging and weaving and trying to avoid it. But then sort of as you master your understanding of how that system works, you start to use it to your advantage. So like towards the end, you know, those black hand choppers came in and they were getting zapped by the lightning. And it's like, oh wait, if I just sort of wingsuit under all the enemies, the lightning is going to do all the work for me. So awesome. You start to use it to your advantage.
Yeah, I was curious about that. How do you balance the aspect of letting people express themselves creatively and then giving them objectives with consequences? So it's like maybe somebody's messing around and they get hit by lightning and they're like, oh, I wanted to like shoot this goat into the atmosphere. It's always an interesting balance in games like this of giving players like a video game where they have to play a level that they can die on, but also giving them a space to create and explore.
I think that sort of speaks to sort of the player's mastery of like player mechanics and like basic ground traversal and air traversal. It's a challenge to pull off what you want to pull off early, but it's over a course of a 5 to 10 to 20 hours in, you realize what was a little bit more difficult for you to pull off early on is now you've mastered that skill set, and then you can take it into a challenging situation. So the idea of playing with the grappling hook and all the different customizable features, the retractor, the booster, and the airlifter, you might begin playing with that in a more serene, sort of peaceful setting to kind of get your bearings. But then, you present yourself with that question later on of what happens when I bring this into an extreme weather event. So one of the things really early on when we first started building the Tornado that all of our devs did was attach an airlifter to a black hand and continually drop kick them towards the Tornado until they got caught up in the vortex line. And they would do it routinely over and over and over and over again. And then you just have a bunch of black hand with airlifters attached to them zipping around, kind of like a black hand NATO thing. So you master it, then you bring it into a challenging scenario, and then you sort of laugh at what you can pull off.
I see.
Is there some kind of an indicator when these weather events are about to happen, or do they just kind of like get sprung on you?
There is some, usually there's some sort of indicator, especially our volumetric cloud system. Like these are based off of real weather simulations. So for the lightning storm specifically, those are actually storm clouds that we studied and used the Apex engine to simulate. So there will be some sort of clues when these things are happening when you're entering a location or about to get near an extreme weather event.
So I should take a crash course in meteorology, is what you're saying.
Just JC4 might be that crash course in meteorology, if you think about it. You like that one, right, Adam?
All this technology goes into, strapping a balloon to some guy so he gets hit by lightning. It's like, no, it's hundreds of years of meteorological research, and then boom! Awesome!
It works just like that.
All in the name of chaos. Well, let's take a look at the last gameplay clip.
All right, Adam. So we're going to go and jump ahead because you have decided to align yourself with the most destructive force in nature, tornado.
You're a storm chaser.
All right.
We're going to recreate the plot of Twister.
We're going to show the extreme weather of Just Cause 4.
Yes.
And it says, get closer to the tornado.
Which is not normally a mission objective that I've ever seen before.
Not really.
Okay, so you're just following this into a base. Oh yeah, it took down the whole bridge.
Oh no!
Goodbye.
Oh my god.
I want to hang out with the tornado.
Yeah, we need
that's what
freedom
we're
for the
doing.
tornado, so
We
you
gotta
gotta
destroy,
control.
Yeah, destroy the wind
Wind
cannons.
cannon. Yeah.
All right, to the right.
All for you, tornado. Oh.
There you go.
Science.
I know.
Yeah.
We put the science back in Just Cause.
All right, that was a good stop. You didn't hurt yourself.
There we go.
One down.
No, it's not
One down.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You gotta keep shooting it.
Still not yet. Seriously,
Plain
tornadoes
engine.
over there like, hey, how's progress on that?
All right.
Can you
Try to
help
throw-
out?
Let me get this guy real quick. Hello.
Good day.
Oh, wait. Maybe the box?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've been given a mine launcher. There we go. Now we're talking. All right.
All right, now it is definitely destroyed.
All right, send some
right on the
boosters.
very front,
Yeah.
put a bunch of boosters.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh no! Cool.
That was for you, tornado. I
Watch
love
out!
you.
Okay, well you got it.
Well, the tornado's free. There's two more.
That was beautiful.
Get sucked into it.
He's my best friend. He'll save me.
I don't think he'll hurt you.
He's my best friend.
We call him Torny.
It's Torny, the tornado.
Look at this.
Oh, look at him go.
No, the planes. I was gonna take that to vacation.
Oh, there's that a blimp. Yeah.
I get in this guy.
Nailed it.
So close. Oh no! Wait.
Take a little time to get over there. Out of my way!
There's a storm a brewing. I just want to try this real quick. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm like you.
Uh-oh, you're gonna get
Watch
sucked
out.
in.
Yeah, you don't want to get past the threshold.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Tony, why?
You got a body stuck to the front of there.
No.
Oh no, Torny's got ya.
Whoa!
All right. Well, it's yours.
Yes, a sacrifice for Tony.
Oh no!
Oh, I missed him.
Missed him.
There, you got him. Run!
Oh shit!
Excellent.
Put boosters in the back of it, sit on it, and ride it when it boosts off.
I like
boy.
your thinking, Bruce.
Like Dr. Strangelove.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
And now hook up. And now I'll go for a ride.
Oh,
Come on!
hang on!
Come on!
This is for you!
Hang on! Oh, I'll launch you off! It's gonna
Get it,
destroy.
Tony.
There we
Yeah, we did it. There we go.
That was quite a journey.
All right, one more.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Hurry!
Hurry!
Because Tony's taking the other one.
Let me
That
have
was
some
my
things.
brother.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. Straight up, just like
Yeah, that's
planes
how
take
planes
off.
work.
Tony, just let me have this one thing. I'm trying to save you. There we go. Okay.
Oh, no.
Tony gotcha.
It's alright.
You can make it. You can make
No,
it.
I don't think you can
I'm still
control it.
full control.
Oh, you are in control.
No, he's not. Watch the tornado.
Tony.
Yeah.
Oh no! There he goes.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
Those are all the tankers. Those are the tankers we saw earlier.
That's
That could be
exciting.
Adam. We freed Torny.
And there he goes.
His story will continue beyond us.
Off in the wilderness.
Miss Torny. He was cool.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that Alana was the best addition to Funhouse, but she's pretty awesome.
They said the same thing about Elise until everyone got tired of her. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
I know. I was actually, not that we go out of our way to do this or anything, but it's pretty cool. We have 2 women working at Funhouse right now, and they are probably the best additions we've ever had because they're the hardest and smartest working people that I know. So, they're not here right now. I just wanted them to know that. If
we can definitely give a round of applause for Elise and Alana. I love those girls. We had the pleasure of all working together back at Machinima a long time ago, and I worked with Elise at Game Trailers. And it's been really cool watching you guys kind of evolve and the kind of content that you do. I mean, have you guys ever thought about, like, where you were to where you are now and, like, maybe doing, like, what the next step would be?
I mean, it's cool when, I guess, like, in this example, this moment, a big publisher like Square and a really awesome developer like Avalanche, like, we want you to play our game. We want you to represent our product. Like, really? So that's a really cool moment just because, I mean, I've been coming to PAX since, I don't know, how long has it been going on? Since it started? 10 years ago or whatever?
45 years or so?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. It was the old stock market crashed, and then we went to PAX.
We played video games on boards of wood back then. Long time ago.
We just throw rocks at each other, and they called it a game.
It hurt. You came home and counted your bruises. It was a wonderful time.
But this is a cool moment where, however, almost a decade ago, we were waiting in line to try to get an interview, to try to do something, and then we get to actually be here and, like, be face to face with the people who make the stuff that we love. So that's awesome. That's a really cool evolution. I would argue we have been devolving, similar to like Goomba people from the Mario Brothers movie.
Good reference, yep. Everyone loves that.
Deep cuts reference.
Man, and I'm people get up my.
Where's that sequel we were promised? Russo brothers, get on it.
But yeah, no, I mean it's. We were just talking on the way over here. Our team has doubled since we started with Rooster Teeth, and that's been awesome. It's been a really fun journey. So, and yeah, been good.
I mean, I certainly laughed a lot. You guys are great. And Just Cause 4 obviously sets people up for success to have these really, like, humorous moments. Have you guys ever, in your play testing at the studio, obviously you guys have probably, like, had a lot of experiments doing wild stuff. Is there anybody on your team that's, like, super serious when they play? Can you be super serious when you play?
I mean, there's definitely people on our team that are super serious.
Yeah.
When they play, I don't know if that's
it's more
possible.
Like they're serious in that they want to take the designs and create these systems and make sure they are not only like accurate to real physics systems. Sometimes it's just like seriousness about the game loop, the design, and the philosophies, the core philosophies. So the seriousness just comes from making sure we're keeping to our vision and keeping to our roots. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, we all do have smiles on our faces because sometimes these things are just so ridiculous. Like in the airport sequence that you just watched, I remember when we were crafting that and we were in a review, and the giant planes get swallowed up by the tornado, but originally they only broke into a couple of pieces, and I remember we got some feedback from a designer, Hamish, she was like, but can we break them more? I mean, we're like, more, got it, more destruction. So, like, that's the sort of conversations that we have back at the office. So it was a serious statement, but about this thing, and then when you see it, we're like, oh yeah, that feels good. That feels good.
Do you have a like an office Mozart who just throws up their briefcase, takes out their gloves, and starts playing, and it's just beauty in motion?
That's me.
Yeah. Oh, it's you? Okay.
That's definitely me. That's definitely me.
Because you guys have to sort of I always appreciate a game like this when there are laughable moments or fun things, but you have to do so much work, I assume, to make sure that the game is still running when something is like when you have 35 thrusters. We didn't get that many, but you get so many things and it's just spinning so fast that the game doesn't, just shut off.
That's actually like a fantastic point. So like with that airplane example, it's like you do want to break it into as many pieces as possible, but we do need to have performance for all of those pieces if you're going to have so much going on the screen at one time. So that is actually one of the reasons why it is a serious question of like, can we break it more? Can we stay performant? Make sure that these things, all of these systems are able to continue running at the same time when we're creating more chaos, essentially.
Yeah.
Is there I imagine that must be difficult because you're working on all these systems all at the same time. At what point do they all kind of start congealing together and working together? Because I imagine that's a pretty rocky moment when it's thrusters plus lightning plus tornado, and all these systems that are still individually have their own bugs start like meshing with each other and creating super bugs that are difficult to find. It's just incredible to me that games like this can even be remotely stable. So I don't know how the QA process works for that. I mean, you mentioned experience before in the design aspect, but I imagine that also carries through to the rest of production.
I mean, I know that our design team sort of has multiple sort of like sub-strike teams that focus, one focuses on the fully customizable grappling hook. There's another team that focuses on the extreme weather element. There's another team that focuses on vehicles. But it's just constant communication between all three while they're developing their sort of respective parts of the game. So usually we have one person, like for example, Tori mentioned Hamish. He's sort of become sort of like our physics designer because it just, early on in development, we realized every system is touching every other system right now. So we really need somebody that can come in and sort of catch all of what may or may not happen, and then improve across the board. Years past, whenever we developed a sandbox game, we didn't have that person. So it became much more difficult to manage. But again, with the experience, you realize, hey, wouldn't it be great if there was one person dedicated to understanding how all these things will be combined and connect. And then it's just, we're also a smaller team than usual, so we collaborate frequently and often. So we just sort of narrow the target and the bullseye as we develop the game, and we do that by constant communication.
Well, I certainly have a lot more questions I could ask you guys because I find all of this stuff fascinating and how the engine works and how the systems work together. But we want to give you guys a couple minutes to ask some questions. So I believe we have a microphone in one of the aisles. We're right over here.
We have an extra one up here if you want to take it home.
So if you want to come up to the microphone, if you guys have any questions, either for the guys from Funhouse or from Avalanche about the game or their time playing it, let us know. And you can just say your name and sort of see around the podium.
Can I ask you guys a quick question?
Yeah.
Before someone asks?
You'll have to go to the mic. Please.
You have to walk around there.
Okay. Just your guys' franchise, Just Cause, seems to be, I don't want to call it YouTube bait, but it's like it's like
it is shareable by design. Right?
Yeah, it's like GIF bait where you can like, it's one of those things where it's
Reddit friendly.
Yeah, it's very Reddit friendly. Like it's a game that it seems like it's instantly viral because you can do so many different things in there. Do you guys design things with that in mind, thinking that the media will catch on to it?
So I'd like to go back to something you mentioned earlier, where you were saying when you guys first started out, and you were just trying to get in to play these games, and you're waiting in the line, and now you're actually playing these games in front of like a large audience. When we developed JC2, and there was that sort of online response, the sandboxiness of it all, it did influence us. You guys, in a lot of ways, influence us. The fans influence us when we watch people play the game. So, initially, Just Cause was one thing, but then that sort of convergence happened between, and I think it's kind of happening for all games now, where the fans and the audience are getting closer and closer to the developers. They're actually actively part of the conversation as a team makes a game. And it's because of the nature of things like YouTube and streamers and influencers and just people that are playing the games that we get inspired about the type of game we want to make for the people that are playing it. And that's, 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't like that. A game would release, you didn't really have a connection to the team that made it, and you either liked it or you didn't. But now you can actually watch your players play your game, and if you don't take advantage of that, it's like a missed opportunity. Like, who else are we making the game for if it's not for the people that are going to play them? So yeah, I think that we do evolve, and we are influenced by the people that play our game.
Cool. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I'm actually just kind of curious if the Bavarian wingsuit will be in this game, because I think that's such a fantastic moveset addition.
You want to take this one, or do you want me to?
Yeah, well, I think this time around we've got something actually better, which is our wind system. So wind plays a huge part throughout the world. Yes, we have our extreme weather types, but we also have a full wind system. So you'll notice air currents, updrafts, all of these things so that Rico can traverse better than ever. And also, not only do they make the return, the wingsuit and the parachute, but they've also been improved and streamlined and better than ever. So when coupled with the wind and the fully customizable grappling hook, traversing is the most fun experience you've had yet.
Hi. So you've got oceans, tornadoes. What are the chances of getting some sharknadoes?
We have We have several animals in Solis.
Those animals alone, oh my.
We have several different types of wildlife, so there will definitely be some sort of, tornado animal-based thing that I'm sure people will do. But I don't know how to. No, so the tornado is fully physicalized. You can throw whatever you want in there, and it will spiral up, and then you can name it whatever you want after that. And then you can put that on YouTube. The one interesting thing is, beyond the animals, a lot of our physicalized sort of weaponry, like a rocket launcher, for example, you might think in most games when you fire a rocket launcher at a tornado, the rocket would just go flying past it. But since we're actually simulating a vortex spline of a tornado and it's physics-based, if you fire rockets at our tornado, the rockets will catch in the wind vortex spline and begin to spin around. So you could make a rocket NATO if you wanted to. And I'm just throwing ideas out there for later in that game when you find that mission. So yeah.
Thanks, guys.
You got it.
Sharknado.
All right. On the tail end of the physics stuff, with NVIDIA doing ray tracing and fancy things like that and pushing these kind of boundaries in what we can do with computer technology, is there things you couldn't do with your new game engine that is just because we don't have the horsepower or the performance to do it in a game sense?
I think it was more about just like, we really spent a lot of time, our engineers, studying these simulations, and it was more, these things would iterate over time, right? So we would start in a place and just continue pushing and pushing and pushing until we got to what we felt was that sweet spot. So for us, really the Apex engine allowed us to reach those goals that we set out for ourselves in the beginning, and because of Apex, it wasn't really about limits. It was like we were aware of our previous limitations, and it's like, how can we push forward on those and extend and really reach new heights?
All right, sweet, thank you. Hey, we got time for 2 questions or just one?
Go for it, dude. Don't ask, just do.
Cool. All right. Hey, just cause. So one of the things that I was really hoping that I'd see more of would be destructible environments and destructible terrain. I didn't really see a lot of that in the trailers. Is that something that's going to be more present in the release, or is that something that I should be waiting for in Just Cause 5?
So the question was, you didn't see a lot of destructible environments in the trailer?
Yeah, like there's plenty of objects, buildings, that sort of stuff, but the terrain itself.
Oh, will we destroy our terrain?
Yeah.
Terrain deformation is something we've discussed, but with a vertical sandbox game, it just didn't seem to yield the results that I think would really make players enjoy it in a way that I've seen or we've seen in previous games. Terrain deformation has been tried in the past, and it's never been the funnest thing. So we tend to lean on we tend to push the boundaries of what we can do with physics where the fun is. So while a lot of the environment, like overhangs and the chaos objects and vehicles and a lot of the things you see in sort of the airport run that are being picked up and simulated by the tornado, those seem to present the player with more like feedback and adrenaline when the tornado's ripping through, say, the mine. But terrain deformation didn't seem to resonate as much, so we never really explored it.
And with Just Cause 3, there were a lot of reports with performance issues on PC with less than 16 gigs of RAM, which came across to a lot of people as very strange when consoles with effectively quarter the RAM were running it just fine. What was up with that, and is that going to be a problem in Just Cause 4?
Bringing the heat.
No, that's cool. I mean, those sort of questions are expected.
Just download more RAM, man.
Yeah. Only 16?
It's free. Freeram.com.
It's 20, yeah.
/Bitcoin machine.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, we experienced those issues, and we tried to address as many of them as possible, but at some point we had to move on to JC4. But we took a lot of what we learned when we encountered those issues, when we started building and sort of creating the infrastructure for the Apex engine. So we're very excited because we feel like the Apex engine solves a lot of these issues that players may have encountered in the previous game.
Thank you.
All right, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So, I was wondering if there would be some sort of special vehicle, bit like the train in Just Cause 3 that would appear, and if you'd be able to interact with it a bit more than Just Cause 3, because, well, apart from derailing it and maybe hacking the missile launchers, it would just run around in circles. So, will there be something like that?
You want it?
I don't know how far I can say, but there is definitely some exciting train action coming your way.
That's good. That's good to know. Thank you.
Balloon train. With rockets, always. Everything.
With a shark attached on the side.
So I have a question in regard to the actual storyline and naming of the game. Is it a coincidence that that game's named Just Cause, which is actually a military mission? And do you guys have, I want to say, like a historian on staff who examines previous conflicts and directs the story in a kind of extreme narrative version of actual historic events? Not that it's based off of anything.
I think, you know, with any like IP or with like any story, obviously you're inspired by things that are happening around you. I do know about the Operation Just Cause that you're talking about. I've actually asked the owner and founder of the studio and the creator of Rico Rodriguez this exact question, and every time he's always given me the same answer, which is, yeah, maybe. What do you think? Like most creatives. And he's actually a really close friend of mine, and he refuses to give me the answer to this question. But when I actually read about that particular operation, there doesn't seem to be any, other than the name, any real association between Rico Rodriguez and any of the activities he's been in over the course of 4 games. So, as far as sort of referencing reality, we want to build a relatable world with a scope and scale that makes the player feel rewarded for the crazy things they pull off. If we were to make Just Cause on Mars, Rico wouldn't feel like Rico because he'd be in an exceptional situation. And the whole point is that he's extraordinary in his abilities, and he also has an enhancement that makes him, you know, a little stronger than most. So, you know, while we do make our worlds relatable and we do reference different parts of the real world, we don't necessarily, you know, dip into real world events to create our Just Cause narrative. We blur that line.
And these will be our last 2 questions since we have one more video to show you.
That's a lot of pressure. So you mentioned that you're not going to do a lot of destructible environments, but you also mentioned that there is going to be a rainforest. Can you set the rainforest on fire?
Can we set the rainforest?
Sociopaths play this
game. What else can I light on fire?
No. You can't set the rainforest on fire, no, because that would be terrible.
Don't burn down the rainforest, man.
Oh yeah, that's the terrible thing
live
that you
there.
Yeah.
That's we actually put we put the lightning storm there because we wanted to water the trees. Like that was.
Okay, so that's the line that you'll just never cross.
We won't. No.
Burning down trees.
We won't do it. No, the Amazon's a beautiful place.
Heroes.
We want to keep it.
Wow.
Thank you.
I wanted to know a little bit more about, with the tornado, you had mentioned that it's a persistent tornado. Right from jump, it's there permanently. I wanted to know if there was any real reasoning behind that, because I feel like seeing the funnel cloud kind of form procedurally or randomly while you're in the middle of another activity would offer some real emergent gameplay.
Well, we didn't say you never see it form.
Mm-hmm.
Checkmate. Now you have to buy it.
Well, I'm going to sneak in one question personally, since we have just a couple minutes. Omar, I kind of wanted to know, like, what's the reasoning behind always sticking with Rico as a character? Not that he's not great, right, and that, you know, fans of the franchise love him, but was there any discussion about bringing in like a new face or a new narrative storyline to the franchise?
We always sort of discuss, you know, is Rico's next adventure going to be about Rico, or is it going to be about somebody else, or should we bring somebody else? Personally, when I inherited the role to tell, you know, like a bigger story for Just Cause, I wanted it to be about Rico. I kind of wanted it. I wanted to learn more about what makes Rico Rodriguez, and I feel like while the player explores in the previous Just Causes a little bit about Rico by playing as Rico, we don't actually learn much about him across some of those stories, why he does what he does, how people see him, how he sees himself. So with JC4, our narrative team turned into Rico and said, hey, let's actually talk more about this character and let's see this person for all their flaws and all their strengths. So
and it kind of, the conversation ended there. We had an early phase where like, hey, maybe somebody like this could join the fray. But it was just sort of like, well, have we done a good enough job with Rico yet? And I see a lot of that now in cinema and comics, like this sort of reinvention of the hero that's happening, like this advent of what is in hero and what do we admire about these people we look up to. So Rico for us was that we wanted to actually tell players and show players who Rico Rodriguez is, and then have people cosplay as him.
When you guys get to Just Cause 18 and he's in a retirement home, is he still going to have the grappling hook?
I mean, I would.
Yeah, that's what makes him more special than the other elderly people.
They all have that extended grabby hand, and he just across the room.
Takes their pills.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that down.
That's actually going to be the new grapple hook ability in Just Cause 18 is the pill.
Pill grabbing?
Pill grabber and wheelchair booster. Thank you.
Well, the wheelchair booster would be awesome. So you're basically essentially saying, like, we're meeting Rico for the first time?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. In the past, he's always sort of shown up to a big open world sandbox, wreaked havoc, taken down the bad guy, and been considered the hero. But I think while that journey is very simple and very easy to understand, there's a lot of things that can go wrong that can tell you something about your character in that scenario, and we've decided to sort of turn into what happens when a person comes to a place that they're not from and builds an army to fight this sort of Black Hand military force on their homeland. What does that do? Who are these people that follows him, and how do they see him? Why do they see him as a hero versus somebody that's actually from their own island? And that is all something these are all things that we explore in the story.
Well, that touches on an interesting subject, given the question about the horrors of burning down a rainforest. How dare you? But do you find it interesting to create a story about relative morality in a game that essentially allows the player to be as sociopathic as they want?
That is the challenge in an emergent open world sandbox with an avatar like Rico. Yes, that is the thing where, when working with the writing team, when working with my narrative designer and my dialogue supervisor, it was always sort of like, hey, wouldn't this be a great moment in the story? And it's sort of like, yeah, but then 4 seconds later you could tether a booster to a cow and send it flying off into a tornado. How do you resolve these issues? So while I can't spoil how we resolve those issues, just know that we didn't ignore them.
Oh, cool.
And that is something that we paid attention to, which is the player's mindset versus Rico's, and how those are resolved throughout our story.
Something to look forward to.
I'm intrigued now.
Well, before we roll the final video, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming on the panel. Adam and Lawrence, when will people be able to watch that full-length clip or the full video of your guys' time in Just Cause 4?
I believe the full video will be out on roosterteeth.com today, and then on YouTube tomorrow, Sunday. Today's
Awesome.
Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you guys spent quite a bit of time playing the game, right? It's a pretty long clip.
Only like an hour and a half we got to play, but I believe it's, I forget what the final runtime of the video is. It's like 10, 15 minutes, something like that. Our editor back home, Omar, did a fantastic job putting things together. I don't know if he's watching this right now, but he killed it. Yeah, thanks to Avalanche and Square for getting us in touch together to make it. It's really cool when we get to play a game early and mess around. So that was an awesome opportunity.
We really, sorry, real quick.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Just really appreciate the beautiful explosions and flying tanks that you created that we saw today.
You gave us the tools, and I don't know why, but you let us do it. It's really cool. I kept forgetting how to open the parachute. I was just thinking about that. We were like Rico's he's a tough guy, he's a cool guy, and right into the side of a helicopter.
Skidding on concrete.
We actually explore that too, by the way. Yeah. The falling and crashing into
Constant
things.
amnesia, poor guy.
What does that do to Rico?
Well, Tori and Omar, thank you so much for showing us the game and to talking us through some of these really crazy systems that players are going to get to experiment with themselves. And the game is coming out not that far away.
December 4th.
Yeah.
All right, so mark your calendars and let's watch the final video.